You know, it's kind of a shame that this show had to air on Christmas Day when there were a lot less eyeballs on the screen, because they've hit 1.2s for the last 3 weeks in a row, and the show that'll probably break that streak turned out to be one of the better impacts TNA's put on in a while. And believe me, I did not think I'd be able to say that when the second match of the night didn't start until 9:58. Fortunately, they had a lot more action in the second hour to compensate for that. The X Division tournament qualifier was very good. We got a clean finish again, and it's nice to see these matches get a little more time than usual, even though they still need to be longer. And the X Division really has become a lot more enjoyable since they got Bashir out of the title picture. I mean, he's still there, but at least the matches are better now. And we also had AJ Styles and Devon versus Booker T and Scott Steiner, and this thing just seemed to go on and on. I mean, it was stupid that they had the referee throw it out during the commercial break, and I thought that was going to be the end of it, but then it just kept on going. I mean, it was great to see the frontline guys be the aggressors for a change. Like I said before, when they carry the action, these matches are better. We need to see more of that. The post-match brawl was very well done, I thought. And it's so refreshing to see AJ being booked so strongly lately. I wish I could say the same for the other frontline guys, but it really looks like they're ramping up AJ for his eventual rematch with Sting that we all know is going to happen sooner or later. We had a knockouts match. I don't know why this was billed as a street fight since the stipulation never came into play during the match, but whatever. It was fairly good. If these last few weeks are any indication, it looks like Raka Khan has taken over Melissa's role as designated jobber for Team Kong, and that is just fine with me. And something I found interesting about this, and I alluded to this last week as well, the booking of Christy Hemme is becoming very, very suspicious. If you watch this match carefully, you probably noticed that, yes, Christy was booked to look strong, but she did almost nothing. I mean, her involvement was kept to very simple stuff, and that was it. Mainly it was Taylor carrying the action for all the babyfaces. So, clearly management trusts Taylor Wilde to deliver the goods in a match, but they keep booking around Christy, so she never really has to do that much. So I'm starting to feel a little bit better about Kong's chances of retaining the title at Genesis now. Also, the main event was good. The only thing that bothered me about that about this was the Angle and Jarrett completely overshadowed Rhino and Sting. I mean, granted, that feud has way more build-up, and Rhino is most likely just a placeholder for AJ, but still, Rhino and Sting is for the world title. You need to build up the heat between those two because that's still your main event. As for the other stuff, the Sarah Palin crap was kept to a minimum this week. Thank you for that, TNA. Just one brief skit, and that was all. That's a big step up from what they've been doing, and I still cannot stand this whole thing. I think it's a complete waste of time, but it does appear to be going somewhere now, at least. I mean, I kind of doubt it'll be any good, but I mean, at least there does seem to be some kind of purpose to it. Of course, the purpose might end up being really stupid, but whatever. Also, I loved what they did with Eric Young, Jay Lethal, Consequences Creed. That segment with them and the Motor City Machine Guns was terrific. Alex Shelley said in an interview once that he was a lot more comfortable as a babyface than a heel, but I don't know why. I really don't. That guy is so much better as a heel. And Eric Young has really stepped it up lately. I mean, he's quickly erasing all those awful memories of Super Eric, and I'm this close. I'm this close to buying into him as a credible babyface performer again. Good stuff there. Also, a lot of great promos throughout the night. AJ, Devon, Kurt Angle, and yes, Matt Morgan as well. That was easily Matt Morgan's best promo yet. The delivery was solid. He wasn't in a rush to get the words out like he usually is. So his mic skills are coming along. Oh, and AJ too. Got to give props to AJ. AJ Styles has never really been known for having great mic skills. I mean, great wrestler, but mic skills, not so much. But that's something that the whole storyline with Christian Cage really helped him with. I mean, ever since the whole Christian Coalition thing, AJ's gotten a lot better on the stick. But one guy really conspicuous by his silence has been Sting. And I see what they're doing with this. I'm just wondering how much longer they can keep it up before something has to give. I mean, this whole thing is this is not about respect anymore, obviously. I mean, Sting might say it is, but he does not have a leg to stand on, and his character has to know that by now. I mean, that video that racked up all the Main Event Mafia's recent quote-unquote hits just showed that the people Sting has aligned himself with are guilty of stuff 10 times worse than anything he accused Joe and AJ of. I mean, the writers have handled his character very well so far, and this works for right now. But at some point, pretty soon, they're going to have to at least show how the hypocrisy of the whole situation is starting to eat Sting up. Otherwise, it's just not going to feel right. The big Mick Foley announcement that he's getting back in the ring at Genesis. Honestly, I don't have an opinion about this yet, and there's two schools of thought on this. Number one, Foley returning for a 6-man tag really doesn't mean that much compared to him coming back for a one-on-one match with Alex Shelley, which is something that I think we've all wanted to see. But number two is that it's been a long time since Mick last wrestled, and a lot longer since he wrestled full-time. And a 6-man tag protects him so he doesn't really have to do that much, whereas a singles match would not. It would really expose him. And, Foley and Shelley would be such a contrast in styles, you have to wonder how good of a match that would really be. And plus, I mean, we all know by now that this creative team can be a little bit petty and vindictive sometimes. And that's not me being a mark, okay? I think that's a very fair criticism. And if they did book Foley versus Shelley at some point, there would always be the possibility that they might have Foley go over and make Shelley do the job. And if that were the case, then to be honest, I really would rather that match never happen at all. So, right now, I'm on the fence about this one. I don't have an opinion about this yet. The only real problem I had with the show this week was that the formatting. In the first hour, they had about 30 minutes stretched over 3 or 4 commercial breaks where there was no wrestling at all, except the stuff with Motor City and Eric Young, which was not technically a match. You absolutely cannot go that long without any wrestling. Now, I will give them credit for having a match going in the ring at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. You always need to have content on the screen at 10 o'clock for all the reasons that I discussed in the State of TNA video. But what they needed to do was change the order of a couple of things, take some of the stuff in the first hour and move it to the second hour, and then move up the tag team brawl and the knockout street fight to earlier in the show. But part of the reason for the huge gap was that they only had 4 matches this week. And I appreciate the fact that this means the matches that we got were longer than normal, but still, they need a lot less talking and a lot more action. But I was happy with the matches we got, and I was happy with this show. A good impact made for a nice Christmas present. And speaking of which, the holidays are not over yet, not until New Year's. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to get this video up. I'm probably going to do another one before next week just to get some things off my chest, so watch out for that one. And also, I may not do a review video for Impact next Thursday because it's just going to be a year in review show, so I might not bother with that. Anyway, I'm going to go for right now. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.